Welcome to Atlanta Baseball Podcast. I know that it has been a very long time since my last podcast. Completely under, life gets in the way. It happens. We've been sick, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? We're back. This podcast is going to be pretty clunky. Haven't fully prepared. But the main reason of getting the podcast out there is I just wanted to get it on the record before the deadline. Because that's what I wanted to talk about is the trade deadline. Because honestly, it feels like I'm taking a little bit of crazy pills when I see online in the Twitterverse and all these articles from ESPN about the trade deadline rumors and the trade deadline acquisitions or potential acquisitions, and I just don't get it. We briefly talked about it in a previous podcast about how the wild card will have a huge impact on the trade market out there. I just don't see all these trades that they think are going to be happening are ever going to come true. And so I listen to these Braves fans calling on the radio or, talk about it online on Twitter and stuff like that. And they're like, oh man, we need this and this and this and this. And man, if we get an outfielder and a pitcher and two pitchers and these relievers and then a shortstop and then we're going to be great. And I don't know where they think that they're going to get all these players. So like I said, it's going to be a little clunky of a podcast, but I just kind of wanted to go through the it's MLB trade rumors, top 50 players that will be traded this year. I think it's top 50. We're not obviously going through the top 20, but just wanted to give kind of my thoughts on it to show you how maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see a trade market really happening almost at all this year. And I'll tell you why. First off, number one player expected to be traded this season that's on everybody's list is Skubal, starting pitcher from the Tigers. I think he may get traded. I don't know, because the only reason he would get traded is he's going to be a free agent next year, so he's strictly going to be a rental. But the Tigers are 4 games out of the wild card, and there's 57 games left to be played. And all the teams in front of them are not playing that great. The Twins, Astros, and Mariners are all in front of them. They're all below 500, all not performing as they expected to begin in the season. The Tigers have a good chance to, if they just do a couple things right, do a little 7-3, couple 10-game stretches of 7-3, they are going to be in the wild card hunt and going to make the playoffs. And as a general manager, I don't know how that world works. I'm not going to pretend how that world works. I would just really, really hate I couldn't stand the thought of potentially trading away the best pitcher in the game and then making the playoffs and not having him in the playoffs. I couldn't fathom that. So I think that he's going to have a high asking price, even though he's just a rental player for the last 50 games. And so I don't think any teams are going to do it. Because I as a general manager wouldn't make that trade unless I get some insane prospects back. Number 2 on the list, which I don't understand at all, Mason Miller, the closer for the Padres. One, I don't understand how he's on the list because he's controlled through 29, which is a crazy long time. So I don't know why the Padres would ever give up the best closer in the league that they control for another 3 years. Plus, on top of that, they're only a game out of the wild card standings. So they have a very, very good chance of making the playoffs. And wouldn't you like the best closer in baseball closing out for the playoffs? So I don't... First name I see, Luis Arraez, or whatever his name, the second baseman for the Giants. This is probably the only person that I really think that could be traded other than the next couple guys, but this is the first one. But the problem is I don't see a market for a slap hitting second baseman. Like, I don't think that there's going to be a whole bunch of guys who are like, yes, we need him. We need him on their team. This is a playoff push candidate. So, yes, he's likely to be traded, but it's just a matter of I don't know who is going to want him. There wasn't really a lot of bidding war for him in the offseason to sign a contract, so I don't know who's going to take him. The next two names, starting pitchers for the Angels, Detmers and Soriano. I think those are out of all of them, are probably the highest chance to get traded. The Angels are not going anywhere. They're 12 games out of the wild card, and so they have no shot at making the playoffs, and so they definitely will be sellers. The only way it will keep them on their team is because there's not going to be very many sellers in the league and not many people that are going to be able to offer up trade starting pitching. So the Angels will probably be able to set a really, really high asking price. And plus, both of these pitchers are controllable through 2028. And so that will drive up the asking price for them as well. Excuse me. So, yes, I think they're very likely to be traded. It's just a matter of how high the Angels are going to set that bar and which team is going to actually want to pay that price, because it's going to be a hefty price. So, the Braves fans are like, oh, we need a starting pitching, we need a starting pitcher. But, like, what cost? Like, we've got finally starting to get really good prospects in the minor leagues. Like, are you willing to get rid of them and get rid of a lot of them? Because that's what it's going to take. Then we got Freddie Peralta from the Mets. He's going to be a free agent. He'll probably move because the Mets are going, but I don't see the Mets making a trade with the Braves. It's very, very rare to make a interdivision trade, so I don't see that's going to be any help from them. Then you have, I don't know, like, there's the Nationals. Foster Griffin and saw the shortstop, C.J. Abrams, is on the list to be traded. The Nationals are one game out of the wild card. They are almost tied for the wild card to make the playoffs. I don't know, like, the Nationals I don't think are making a trade, and the Nationals definitely won't make the trade with the Braves. So once again, I would love to know the mind of a GM during this time. For instance, like, specifically like the Nationals or the Padres. Like, they're right there. They have pieces that people really want. So, like, do you go and be like, okay, yeah, if it makes the playoffs, like, okay, we might make the playoffs. Like, we probably won't win the World Series, so we might as well get prospects and start building for our future? Or do you look at it and we're like, I don't have it in front of me, sorry, but, like, there's been a number of World Series champions that have come from the wild card. So, I don't know. I think that as soon as if you get in, you've got a strong shot. Casey Mize, another pitcher from the Tigers. That's, again, I don't see the Tigers making a trade, and if they do, are they really going to trade their top two pitchers? Like, why not trade everybody then? I don't know. Ryan Jeffers is number 9 on here. He's with the Twins. The Twins are 1.5 games back of the wild card too. Like, once again, I don't see it. I see. There's 6 teams, 3 in the AL, 3 in the NL that can legitimately, I think, would be willing to give up pieces and do not have a shot at the playoffs. Is the Royals, the Athletics, the Angels from the AL, and then the Giants and the Mets and the Rockies. The problem with, like, a team like the Rockies and a little bit the Angels, but more the Rockies, is they're so young. Like, I don't understand why they would trade anybody, because, like, they're building. So that would be tough to be like, oh, we got a bunch of controllable guys. Let's give them away now. I don't know. That doesn't make much sense to me. But, we'll see. And then number 10, I'll probably kind of stop here. Robbie Ray from the Giants, he's going to be a free agent this year. He's going to be an impending, so he's going to be a rental player. I'm sure he's going to move. But once again, like we've named off 3 starting pitchers, it's going to be a big-time market for them, and whoever is going to give it the most prospects is going to get them. And I don't know how Alex Anthopoulos is going to play it. And then even the Blue Jays. I see 2 names in the Blue Jays: Shane Bieber and Kyle Gaussman, however you say his name. Those have been linked to the Braves because they're starting pitchers. I don't know. I mean, Toronto's 5.5 games back. They still have an outside shot of making the wild card. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know what because the Blue Jays is a team where I don't know what's going on with them, but they've got great players, so I don't know why they're losing games. Maybe they get something to click and they make a run, and all of a sudden they're in the wild card. And so yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get on the record. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of trades. I don't think that excuse me, AA will be able to get a guy or 2. And all these Braves fans are talking about like we need multiple guys, and I don't think that's happening. But it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for it. I'm not really getting my hopes up like a lot of these Braves fans are. But we will see. The Braves have been playing great recently, and really have turned it around the second half. We desperately need a starting pitching, but I don't think that the answer is out there in the trade market. I am going to make a podcast here about the number of transactions that the Braves do. This is absolutely crazy. I think that if I was during the collective bargaining agreement that's coming up, if I was a players union, I would make that priority number 1, to stop all this roster manipulation that teams are doing, specifically the Braves. Like, they're just calling guys up and down, and they're just killing kids' careers. Like, I forget what pitcher it was, but it was his first start. I mean, his first appearance the other day, and then he just comes in and he just got to take one for the team and pitch 3 innings and give 11 runs, and then he gets sent down the next day. Like, that's so I can't imagine how deflating that would be. But I'm going to wrap this up. I know I'm kind of rambling. Trade market, I don't think it's going to be there. We're going to see what happens. I think it's less than a week or something like that. We're getting into crunch time. I think the demand is going to be just so off the market that it's not going to be it's going to be a whole lot of nothing. But could be wrong. That's why I don't make any money of this. So hope you have a good week, and hopefully next time the podcast will not take this long for me to do.